Kids, welcome back to our channel. Today we have a wonderful tale from China. The name of the story is The Nightingale. It is Nightingale, not Nightingale. So, the story tells the tale of a nightingale caged by a king who loved its song. The tale unfolds with the king's desire, the nightingale's plea for freedom, and the transformative journey of the king's heart. So, let's get started. Once, long ago in China, lived an emperor. His palace had the most beautiful garden in the world. This garden ended near a dense forest. Kids, this story is from the past, and it's about an emperor who used to live in China. That emperor had the most beautiful garden in the world, and this garden ended near a dense forest. In one of the trees of the forest lived a nightingale. It sang sweetly that everyone stopped still and listened its song. Dear children, and in one of the trees of this forest lived a nightingale, and the nightingale sang so sweetly that everyone who heard it stopped still and listened to its song. Travelers came from all over the world to admire the emperor's palace and his garden. However, when they heard the nightingale's song, they said, "This is the best of all." Soon the emperor heard of the nightingale. Children, people from all over the world came to see the emperor's palace and the garden. But when they heard the nightingale's song, they said, "This is the best part." And one day, the emperor heard about the nightingale. Is there such a bird in my empire? I have never heard of it. I command the bird to be brought to my palace and made to sing before me. Children, when the king heard about that nightingale, he ordered his ministers to bring that bird to the palace, and he wanted that bird to sing in front of him. But where was the nightingale to be found? No one knew where it lived, dear children, but the strange part was nobody in the whole kingdom knew where that nightingale lived. At last, a poor girl in the royal kitchen said, I know where the nightingale in the forest. It sings melodiously. When I am tired, I rest under the trees and listen to the nightingale's song. Its singing makes me forget everything. Here, melodiously means sweetly. Dear children, finally, a very young girl who worked in the kitchen of the kingdom told that she knew where that nightingale lived. And she told it lived in the forest. Then people asked him, how did she know? So she told, whenever she got tired, she took rest under the tree and listened to the nightingale song. And do you know? Nightingale's song helped her forget her tiredness. So the little girl led the way into the forest. Half the court went with her. After walking a long distance, the girl stopped near the tree. She pointed to a little bird up in the boughs. This is the nightingale, she said softly. Boughs means big branches of the tree. Fine? So what happened? The little girl guided the way to the forest. Led means guided everyone. And so many ministers went after her. When they walked for a long distance, the girl stopped near a tree and she pointed to a little bird that was hidden in the branches of the tree, and she told the people that was the nightingale. It can't be possible, everyone said in disappointment. How dull it looks. When people looked at the bird, they became very sad because the bird was not at all bright, it was very dull. Little Nightingale, said the girl, our emperor wishes you to sing before him. Now, this little girl told the nightingale that the emperor wanted the nightingale to be in the palace to sing before the emperor. My song sounds the best in the forest, replied the nightingale, but I will come to the palace because the emperor wants me to. The nightingale replied to the girl that, yes, the emperor called me. That's why Nightingale had to go to the palace, but in reality, the sound of the nightingale sounds better in the forest only. So, the nightingale went to the palace. The emperor looked at the bird and ordered it to sing. As you know, the emperor wanted to listen to the song of the nightingale. That's why he ordered it to sing. The nightingale sang so melodiously that the emperor had tears running down his cheeks. He ordered that the nightingale remain in the palace. Children, when the king heard the song of the nightingale, it was so sweet that the king became so happy that out of his happiness, tears started rolling down his cheeks. So he ordered the nightingale to stay in the palace only. It was kept in a golden cage and given the most delicious food. Delicious means tasty. Now, the king ordered the nightingale to stay in the palace. That's why the ministers caged that bird into a golden cage. Do you think it's fine? Do you think it's good to cage birds? Even I feel so. Caging birds is not a good habit. Let's find out what happened next. The whole city talked about the wonderful word. When two people met, one said 19 and the other said Gale. This became a way of greeting. Now, when we meet somebody, we always say hello to greet that person. The city is so impressed by the song of the nightingale that they have invented a new way to wish people. So when they met, one of them used to say 19 and the other one used to say Gale. And in this way, they have invented a new way to wish hello to each other. One day the emperor received a parcel marked the Nightingale. When opened it, he was astonished. Marked means written and astonished means surprised. That means there was a parcel received by the emperor on which the Nightingale word was written. And when the emperor opened that parcel, he was surprised. In it was a golden nightingale. There was a golden key beside it. The emperor wound up the golden nightingale with the golden key. Now, children, when the king opened the parcel, what he found? Yes, he found a golden nightingale. That means this nightingale is not a living being, it is a non-living bird. It is a toy bird, but it was golden in color. There was a golden key beside it. Beside means near it. And the emperor wound the golden nightingale with the golden key. Now wound means किसी चीज में जब हम चाबी भरते हैं. आपने टॉयज देखे ना जिसमें हम चाबी भर भर के चलाते हैं. That is known as wound. The past form of wind. So emperor ने उसमें चाबी भरी to see what happened next. It started singing a beautiful tune. 30 times it sang the same tune and yet was not tired. The emperor said that the live nightingale ought to be shown this wonder. Now, when the king wound that bird, it started singing and the song was again very sweet. 30 times the bird sang the same song and it didn't get bored. The emperor was surprised and he told his ministers that the living nightingale, that the real nightingale should be shown that this nightingale, the golden one, didn't get bored. But where was the live nightingale? No one had noticed that it had flown away out of the open window back to the forest. What does it matter? We have the best bird after all, said everyone. The golden bird was made to sing again and again until everyone knew its tune by heart. So a whole year went by. When they tried to find out the live nightingale, the real nightingale, they were not able to find it because it had gone back to the forest. You know, it was a free bird. It wanted to stay free. So it went back to the forest to stay free. When people found this, they thought, it's okay if the bird has gone, no problem. We have the golden one. They kept listening to the song of the golden bird and they kept listening to its song for almost a year. Suddenly the emperor fell ill. In his illness, he longed to hear a melodious song. Music, he said, precious golden bird, sing, your song will make me well again. Now our emperor is ill. And in his illness, he wanted to listen to the beautiful song. That's why the golden nightingale was brought in front of him, as our real one has flown away. So the king ordered the golden nightingale to sing because he thought that after listening to the song, he would be fine again. But the bird stood still. It was worn out inside and there was no music left in it. The emperor longed for music, but the bird could not sing. When the king ordered the bird to sing, it couldn't sing because it was damaged from inside. The music was not played when the king wound the golden bird to sing. Then from the window suddenly the most lovely song was heard. It was the little light nightingale that sat outside on a tree. It had heard of the emperor's illness and had come to sing to him. It sang the most beautiful song. It sang the most beautiful song. As it sang, the emperor felt better. Thanks, said the emperor. You must always stay with me. Now, when the emperor felt better after listening to the song of the real bird, real nightingale, he requested the nightingale to stay in the palace. Not so, replied the nightingale. But you know, the nightingale loved its freedom. That's why it refused the emperor to stay in the palace. I cannot live in a palace. I will come and sit on the tree by the window every evening and sing for you. But you must promise me one thing. Any guesses? What did the nightingale need? Anything, said the emperor. Now, emperor, without knowing any condition, he promised the nightingale to give it everything, whatever it needed. So the nightingale asked the emperor, let not any bird live in a cage. The nightingale wanted the king not to cage any bird in future because as we love freedom, being human beings, we want to go everywhere on our own. Similarly, birds and animals are also living beings. They need freedom, so we shouldn't keep them behind the bars. The emperor smiled and said, as you wish, my nightingale. That means the emperor promised the nightingale that he would never cage any bird in future. Isn't it great? The nightingale flew away happily, only to return the next day. Do you know why? To sing for the emperor. Yes. And from that day on, the nightingale sang for the emperor every evening, and they both lived happily ever after. So, the learning outcome of the chapter is freedom gives us happiness. That means being free makes us happy because it lets us be ourselves, do what we love, and live the way we want, which makes us feel good and satisfied. I hope you enjoyed the story, kids. Remember, true beauty lies in being yourself. See you next time with another exciting tale. Bye bye.